Good morning, everybody, and thank you for joining the live session today. We're going to give ourselves maybe one more minute to allow everybody to log in. So if you can please bear with me. In the meantime, well, thank you everybody for joining, and hopefully everybody is doing well at home and healthy. Working from home is being quite interesting, so I think with a little bit of extra time, we're taking the opportunity to do this live session. We decided to call it live session instead of webinar because webinar sounds so boring, and also because we want it to be more of a conversation and a dialogue rather than that by slide deck presentation, right? So today with us, we have Anna Witteveen from iSurance. She is going to be sharing with us some of her experience improving their customer service performance, and based on the transformation process that they've gone through and trying to achieve the customer experience goals that they've set for the business as differentiators, right? So perhaps before we start, just a brief introduction to Redcase services. Just because we might not be able to do this at the end. We're a CRM transformation agency. We work with different technologies and to implement to improve the processes of the customer relationship for the whole customer journey, implementing technology and improving the different business practices. And this, a big part of this has to do with customer experience and customer service and reaching customer service excellence, right? Today we wanted to talk about iSurance because it's one of these cases where we've seen a huge impact on the way the company has been able to leverage on the technology and leverage on the know-how and experience that we have delivering customer experience improvements. Anna, thank you very much for joining the presentation and for your time to share your thoughts with us. Can you tell us a little bit about your background and about where you come from?
Yeah, sure. Thank you for having me, first of all. So my name is Anna. I'm the head of product at iSurance, and I've been with iSurance for about a year and a half now. Before I joined iSurance, I was working as a project manager in a software development company. And at the time, I basically decided to join iSurance because the insurance market is known for being complex, and there's a perception of distrust towards insurance companies and bad customer experience, basically. And iSurance aims to break with this idea. So we want to make the insurance product simple and give the customer an excellent customer experience.
All right. And you've how long have you been in working with technology?
So with iSurance for about a year and a half, and before that for three to 4 years.
All right. So you're very familiar with, digital transformation and everything is happening.
Yeah, platform
space,
development,
right?
yes.
Yeah. So when you talk about your product, of course you have the insurance product as insurance service, right? But what's behind the product, like in the business model? How is it based? How is it leveraging technology?
Yeah, so iSurance is a B2B2C high volume, low premium insurance provider. And basically, we enable our partners to provide insurances to their customers, and we do this in 4 different verticals. First and foremost, we work in the mobile vertical. We also provide insurances in the electronics vertical, in the hearing aid devices, and in the tires devices. And our biggest markets are currently in Switzerland and in Germany.
Okay, so you have your insured products that consumers buy in different retailers. Can you give us an example of, how that will work?
Yeah, sure. So let's say that you as a customer go to the Fnac store to buy a mobile phone. Typically, the Fnac employee would offer you an insurance, and insurance is actually provided by us.
Yeah.
So once the insurance is sold to you as a customer, everything that is related to your policy or to a potential claim, would be handled by us.
Okay. So, for example, in Boots, Boots is one of your clients, right, here in the UK?
Yeah.
What do you do with them?
So we provide insurances for hearing aid devices that they sell in their retail stores. Okay. And for Fnac, as I mentioned before, we provide insurances for mobile phones and electronics in Switzerland. For Salt, we do the same, and we provide mobile phone insurances in Switzerland as well. And for Monaco Telecom, we do the same in Monaco. And we also have other partners, like, for example, Kind in Germany and in Switzerland, with whom we provide hearing aid insurances as well.
Okay, so your company is European-wide. You don't.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And then are your customer services located in each one of the countries, or do you have them
we have
centralized?
It centralized. Yeah, we have it centralized in Barcelona. Yeah.
Okay. So I understand customer experience is being one of the cornerstones of your differentiation with competitors, right? And the business model implies that you don't sell the insurance directly to the consumer. You're working through your business partners. When they sell the product, they sell your insurance as an add-on, right? So what is the standard insurance model? How are you trying to break that model and create a better customer experience?
Yes, I would say that insurance is innovative in 2 ways. On the one hand, it's indeed the insurance product and the customer service that we offer once the customer is insured. And on the other hand, it's the way we enable our partners to sell the insurances to their customers. So we are very fast in launching to market. With one of our partners, we've actually been able to do it within 1 month.
So, and how does the customer access the insurance once they take the product home?
So once they have their product and they need any information about their policy or they want to file a claim, they would reach out to us, to our customer care department. And that's where we actually enter the scene. So they wouldn't know about us until they actually want something from their policy or they have to file a claim.
Yeah. So you have 2 types of relationship. You have the standard B2B relationship with the partners and the retailers, but you also have the B2C relationship where you have to provide service to the end customer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So I understand, obviously, when internally you decided to take on this customer service improvement project, you were coming from being relatively small to being quite successful and getting more partners and increasing the volume of business really fast. So we were talking, I remember we were talking about the operational challenge you had. Can you tell us a little bit about the history of the business, how you got from that point into the need of having to scale service operations?
Yeah, sure. So when we started with insurance, basically we were servicing one partner and all our customer care agents were working on the same program. And then because of the success of our product and customer service, we started onboarding new partners, so additional programs, but our way of operating and servicing the end customers didn't change. So for example, what we were doing before, or before the whole Zendesk migration project, we were dealing with the customer emails through a shared inbox.
Mm-hmm.
And as we started onboarding additional partners, we added shared inboxes and additional phone lines to answer the customer on the phone. And the customer care agents, basically, they had to switch between the different shared inboxes, the different phone lines, basically, and to answer the customer's queries.
Yeah. So one of the challenges, I suppose, was to, like, every time you take on a new business partner, you automatically take on potentially thousands of B2C customers that from one day to the next you need to service. You got to create a new brand. You have to have new channels of communications specifically for that partner. So every time you grow the business, it grows exponentially to, potentially hundreds of stores across Europe, right?
Mm-hmm, exactly. So our customer base was growing. As our customer base was growing, because we were onboarding more partners, we also started to grow our customer care department. But basically, the way we were operating didn't really change. It just became bigger.
So the in the customer service center, I imagine one of the things that you wanted to maintain was your SLAs, right? As part of the customer experience objectives. What objectives did you set out to achieve when you started looking into improving this area of the business?
So we were looking to actually meet the SLAs that we had established with our partners, because before we weren't always able to meet them because of the way we were set up, and we definitely wanted to keep or yes, stick to the SLAs that we had agreed to. At the same time, we wanted to improve the experience for the customer care agents, because they felt that they were not working as efficient as they could be working. So, and of course, we wanted to offer the good, excellent customer experience that we are aiming to offer.
How about the employee experience? Was that something that you had in mind as well in
Yeah,
this process?
definitely. So, like I said, as we were onboarding more partners, the way we were operating actually didn't change. So, for a customer care agent, for example, to answer an email from a customer, he had to switch between different shared inboxes and never really had a clear view on which of the emails were already answered by his colleagues. Or when a customer would call to ask about an email that he had sent, the customer care agent would need to read the whole thread or look for the
Yeah,
email first and then read the whole thread. So they were feeling like they were losing a lot of time in these basic,
the
things that,
tasks.
yeah, exactly.
So very, very frustrating, I imagine, for the actual users, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
indeed.
yeah, because people want to do their job right, and they want to have the tools to do their job. And a frustrated
Absolutely.
agent cannot deliver, positive customer service, right?
Yeah.
So talking about the when you took on this project, there were a few things that, in terms of designing a better solution, so transitioning from a smaller operation to a quite large multinational customer service operation, right?
Hmm.
I think a big chunk of this was rethinking your business processes so they can be improved, right? Um,
Yeah.
can you tell us a little bit about how was the process of restructuring the way you work to be able to fit this new model?
Yeah. So we understood that we actually needed one single solution that would centralize all the contacts that we have with our customers.
Mm-hmm.
So on the one hand, we have our own platform where we handle everything related to the policy and the claim. And then on the other hand, we would have a centralized platform that would centralize all the communication that we have with the customer. So that is what the solution was that we were looking for. Yeah.
So in order to be able to meet SLAs, what sort of tools did you use within the application? Because I know, so you went from a disconnected set of applications.
Mm-hmm.
Each one application was managing maybe one tactical process, but the purpose of centralizing everything is to give you full visibility, streamline the process, optimize the process. But for example, in particular, there are 2 or 3 elements that we wanted to highlight where I think these elements particularly helped you. One of them was the use of certain tools within Zendesk to meet your SLAs. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I think first and foremost, on the whole, the fact that it's a centralized platform where now all the contacts that we have with the customer enter into the same platform. So we integrated, as well as we moved to Zendesk, we also integrated a phone service solution provided by 8x8, which is integrated with Zendesk. So now whenever a customer reaches out to us, whether it's per email or per phone, it enters as a ticket in Zendesk. And then we organized our customer care department in different groups and use filters to organize the tickets that enter into Zendesk. I would say that another important thing that we are using in Zendesk is the triggers. So indeed, we have SLAs with our partners. And whenever we are at risk of not meeting our SLAs, the trigger ensures that the ticket pops up again. So we have full visibility there.
So how many brands do you manage within the system?
With brands,
how many teams? How many teams? How do you group the
so we've set up the
solutions?
teams according to the verticals that we have. And yeah.
So people specialize in specific areas of the verticals, so the tickets get routed automatically to those teams.
Yeah, exactly. And then the supervisor, something that they are now able to do is to assign the tickets to the customer care agents, whereas before they did not have the full visibility of the workload of each of the customer care agents and weren't really able to assign anything apart from the color coding in Outlook.
So you in the platform, you now can create one single ticket irrelevant of the channel. Like if a person sends an email or makes a phone call, those interactions with customers automatically turn into tickets, right?
Exactly, yeah.
How
We
is
really
this?
gained a lot there because, as I said before, it was for the customer care agents, it was very frustrating because they had to switch between the different shared inboxes. Then they also had to attend the phone and switch to our own platform to handle the claim or everything related to the policy. So they had to do a lot of clicks between different platforms. And now, basically, it is either Zendesk, where every contact with the customer is registered, or our own platform where we do everything with the policy or the claim.
Okay. And how is the telephony integration helping you? What can you tell us a little bit about how the mechanics work?
Yeah, so I think, like I said before, the most important thing is that we actually have that integration now. So whenever a customer calls us, a ticket is opened in Zendesk. So we have the visibility there about all the interactions that we have with the same customer. I think that is where we gain the most.
So the phone call automatically creates a ticket,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
the phone call can be recorded as well for quality purposes, right?
Yeah.
How would can you imagine doing this now with this in the middle of this quarantine without having these tools?
To be honest, I don't think we would have been able to keep on offering our services to our customers if it weren't for this centralized platform that we are using, because basically everybody's working from home, and to organize 20 to 25 people to switch between different shared inboxes to make sure that they understand what they need to work on, I would say it would have been impossible.
Yeah. So you were really looking ahead. The timing was perfect, right?
Yeah, definitely.
How about actually the ability to also monitor performance? Because when people work at an office, you're with the team, you can see what people are doing. But how about now remotely? What ability do you have in terms of reporting and monitoring?
Well, to be honest, before we didn't really have the possibility to monitor, and now we do have it with the tools that Zendesk provides. So there are statistics tools that are provided, so we can actually do proper monitoring of our work.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, because it's provided within the platform, it can be done both remotely or sitting in the same office.
Okay. Yeah, I think this must have been a challenge before to try to understand whether SLAs were met, the number of tickets that you were managing daily, individuals' performance, team performance, specialization, like vertical performance. All of those things are things that you're able to understand today much
Yeah,
better, right?
yeah, absolutely, yeah.
In terms of the actual process of delivering the solution, I think there was like any IT project, there was a fear that you might not be able to, deliver quickly. What were you looking for when you decided to work with this technology and with Redk?
So I think the way we are operating and servicing so many partners is quite peculiar. And we were looking for somebody who would really, or yeah, someone that would really understand how we were operating so that we could set it up as such in Zendesk. And when we decided to work with you guys from Redk, we actually we got 2 dedicated resources for the entire project. And we did a discovery session where we went through our whole way of operating to make sure that it was completely visible and understandable. I think that was a very good way to start the project, to be honest.
Yeah. And in terms of a agile methodology, what do you think the impact has been on applying this type of methodology as opposed to standard, IT waterfall methodology? Because
Yeah.
I believe we used agile and we used the concept of an MVP. How did that help you?
I think we took the good approach of applying Agile because whereas everybody understood that we needed to find a solution for our customer care departments, a project like this is very big and you want to get to results quickly. So we took the Agile approach of getting to an MVP first and define what needed to be delivered in this first phase of reaching an MVP, and then also decide on what could be postponed to a second phase afterwards.
Yeah. So how long did it take, to implement, to review the process, implement the technology, integrate the channels, and get everybody up and running?
I think we worked with a pretty tight deadline that we set ourselves, but all in all, it took us about a month to actually migrate from our old system to Zendesk and 8x8.
That's pretty fast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was challenging, but it was really,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it worked out great.
Yeah. So in the migration, I guess you had to migrate information as well as retrain everybody on the new systems, right?
Yeah, exactly. So it was, like I said, a tight schedule, quite challenging, but we
Yeah.
managed to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds fast, right? So what is
Yeah.
the staff's feedback on this? Like, what in terms of employee experience, what are they saying after been using this for a few months?
Yeah, so the impact on our customer care department has been really positive, and I would say we can really find a before and after. So they now have clear visibility on what is expected, what they need to work on, and basically they are more satisfied in the way that we are operating. And yeah, so it has been very positive. And I think, yeah, it's important to mention now that, as we discussed before, that if we wouldn't have been able to keep on offering our services now with this lockdown if it weren't for this integrated solution.
Yeah, and I would imagine not only are you able to keep on delivering the service, but if you're actually able to grow, like if you manage to get a new partner through these next few months and we're still working remotely, you can add more people to the team, get them up and going remotely as well, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe the telephony solution integrated is also able to cover the whole of Europe, right? So it's not just this, the ticketing platform, is the whole thing, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
How about on the day-to-day, the decision-making process? Has that changed in terms of operational management of the customer service team?
I would say that it has, because now we have full visibility on the contacts that we have with our customers, so the amount of interactions that we have with our customer. And we also have visibility on the workload for the different agents. So it has had a very positive impact for management and supervisors as well.
Yeah. And that's absolutely important when you work remotely, right?
Yeah.
And how about the customer experience? What is the number one thing that you get out of this? How do customers benefit from you being able to implement this?
Well, we are now able to monitor our performance, and we know that we are faster in answering the customer any query that he might have. And because we also have more visibility on the different interactions that we have with the customer, we actually are able to answer their queries faster. And all in all, it therefore has improved the customer experience as well.
Yeah, I think insurance is an industry that takes some time to evolve. The industry in general is not used to putting so much focus on the customer experience, but probably more on, you know, whether you get compensated or not, right?
Yeah.
But that's not what customers want to hear. Customers want to hear that they are getting, you know, the actual product to work, and a lot of it is, are we able to access that product quickly? Are we able to get what we paid for when we need it, right? And
Yeah, exactly.
a lot of it is communication. And if
Yeah.
you're servicing, it's easier to train a B2B brand to communicate with you, let's say by email. But when we're talking about B2C, customers want to use whatever they want to use. What other channels are you looking at implementing in the near future? What other
So
like you're doing this on Agile, so what is coming up on the next sprints?
yeah, so we had very a clear view of what we needed in our MVP, and now in the next phase, we are looking at the chatbot and also the knowledge base that is offered by Zendesk. And furthermore, we actually want to integrate our own platform, so the platform where we handle everything with the policies and the claims with Zendesk, so that there will be communication between the two platforms.
Yeah. So the way Zendesk is built should allow you to integrate the all of the policy information within the Zendesk application.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, Zendesk has this functionality called apps that allows to for companies like us to personalize the views within Zendesk to view a third application system, right? The same way the telephony does, for instance, right?
Yeah.
So if you, what are the things that you've learned from this process of implementing? Because I imagine
Uh,
you've done so many IT projects, and
yeah.
IT projects are like the weather forecast sometimes, right? You really can't tell how exactly are going to be, right? So what are the things that have worked?
Well, like I said before, I think that we took a very good approach in delivering results fast because everybody was on board with finding a solution for our customer care department. But yeah, a project like this requires resources and it requires time. So if you can show results fast, it creates an understanding business-wide. I would say that communication is another element that we managed well within the project, but it's very important for the success of a project because whereas with you guys, we had a very fluent communication and 2 dedicated resources, we were at the same time speaking to 8x8, where we had a lot of different project managers assigned on their side, so the communication was not as fluent.
Mm-hmm.
I think one thing that we could have done better probably is that while we were focusing so much on the first phase, we could have documented better what we would require in a second phase.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I imagine during the sessions, you're collecting requirements. Some things go immediately into, you know, the initial MVP or the next sprint, but some things need to be put into a backlog, right?
Yeah.
And if you don't document that later, you have to do that session again.
Exactly.
So I guess it's a good learning. How about getting sponsorship from your executive team? What things have helped you get that? Because every time you create an IT project, you need to go and get money for that and resources, right? You have to create a business case, right? How difficult has that been? And you know, for the next phases of the project, what is helping you to achieve that?
I think what is very important in this case is to understand the benefits of what it can bring to the organization. And as the customer experience actually is one of our unique selling points, we need to make sure that we are delivering what we are saying that we will deliver. So in that sense, like I said, there was a general understanding that we had to change our way of operating because obviously we still wanted to grow, and as we were growing, our customer base would grow. So we needed to be able to absorb that growth. And now for the future projects, it's emphasizing very much on the benefits that it will bring to the organization.
Yeah. The benefits, I think sometimes so the customer experience is such a big word. You know, it's difficult sometimes to translate that into operational, very tactical, you know, functional work. By applying Agile, it's quite easy to demonstrate to the executive team that you're achieving this, right?
Yeah, exactly. Because in the end, you want results and you want to show these results. And with Agile, you are actually able to deliver these results in a quite short time period.
Yeah, I think it's definitely one of those cases where I think collaboration and communication has worked particularly well. We put a lot of emphasis on doing this. We know that complex projects require people that are good, but also people that are good people, you know, in terms of being empathetic with the customer's goals, trying to understand what they want to achieve, communicate the good things and the bad things to try to have a common goal together. So learning to work as a team, that I think is also something that we take away from a lot of our customers, that is help achieve the results, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like I said before, we had 2 dedicated resources from your side, and during the length of the project, they really became part of our team and really digged in the way that we were operating. So that was really, really important for the success of the project.
Yeah. Okay, I think we've covered everything. I don't know if there are any questions from people attending. Let me see the questions panel.
Yeah.
I think we've been very clear at communicating what we wanted to communicate because
Good.
there's no questions. Um, hopefully it was very useful for everybody, quick and painless. And this is what these live sessions are about, just quick conversations with people that have hands-on experience. Thank you very much for your time, Anna. Hopefully
Thank you for having me.
we move on to the next sprints and we're able to deliver more exciting things for assurance. Hold on, let me see. There is a question. How flexible have you found the solutions in the current climate? Like how flexible have you found Zendesk to be for your organization?
I assume that with the current climate, we are referring to the lockdown situation, right? So
Yeah.
I would say that for us, it has really been a before and after, in the sense that we wouldn't have been able to keep on delivering our service to our customers if it weren't for this integrated solution that we now have. And I mean, in the end, in these situations, you always do what you can with the tools that you have, but certainly with the tool that we have right now, we are able to deliver a service that we are proud of. Whereas in the past, or with the way we were operating in the past, I'm not sure if we would have been.
How about
In,
in terms of personalizing, you know, the application to work for you? Because you know, these solutions come with a bunch of functionality that is out of the box. But at the
yeah.
end of the day, your business is your business, and there's a lot of business processes that are specific to you.
Yeah.
How flexible was the application to be able to do that?
Well, I mean, in the end, it's always the trade-off, right? Either you build a platform yourself so that it does exactly what you want to do, or you make sure that the way you are operating fits within this standard solution, like Zendesk, for example. We went for the standard solution because we know that it offers a lot of possibilities of things that we were not able to do before. But yeah, in the end, it is a standard solution. So there are things that cannot be done. But for now, and for the way that we are operating up until now, it has been very good.
And do you think, this is another question, do you think this has had a positive impact in enhancing the image of your organization?
Um, I'm not sure if it has directly, but certainly in the way we are answering our customers, the way that we are faster, we are better at monitoring our performance. It does. Indirectly, it has, yeah.
Do you have to report to your business partners, your B2B customers on the service you deliver to customers?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So they must be aware that you know, you're able to fulfill all the SLAs and all the commitments, right, with the brands.
Yeah. So we were doing the reporting before as well, but it was much more complex and maybe less accurate as well. And now we have the full visibility and we know that what we are reporting is really showing what we are doing.
Yeah. Okay. And there is one last question. You know, projects are never perfect. And actually, I think we learn more about the things that went wrong than the things that went right. For the things that went right are the things that we were prepared for, right?
Yeah.
If you could do it again, what would be what will you change? What do you think you will be able to do better?
Well, like I said before, I think what we would do better is gathering or documenting the requirements for a second phase or a third phase. And probably we would require more dedicated resources on the side of the 8x8, so the phone service provider, because we really noticed that difference between talking to the same people all the time. So you have a complete, clear communication, whereas you're talking to different people at the same all the time, which means that you have to explain everything twice or even three
Yeah.
times.
So it's probably having a product owner that makes sure that, you know, everything, all the collaboration comes together. I think in the end, we had to kind of take ownership of that and make it happen, right? That's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
way.
you guys helped us there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. All right. I think that's all. Thank you very much for the very frank conversation. You know, hopefully we get to do more,
Yeah.
and more good things come to for assurance.
Yeah, well, thank you for having me. It has been a real pleasure.
All right. Have a good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for attending.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.